Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So it's Zini. If this is your first time stopping by, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share and put on your notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I post subsequent videos. On today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make this beautiful top and wrap skirt that I'm wearing. So if this is what you're interested in, please do well to watch to the end. Now, without wasting much time, let us get right into the video. On today's tutorial, I'll be making use of our scissors, our ruler, our measuring tape and 4 yards of this lovely fabric. Of course, if you're a plus size, you can make use of 5 yards of this. So I'll be drafting directly on the fabric and I'm going to be cutting the front and the back together. Already I've folded it into 4 as you can see, and I'm going to go ahead to draw a line at the beginning of the fabric. This dress is a 2-piece, a top and a wrap skirt, so I'll be cutting the top part first. Here I'm trying to thicken the line so that you can get to see it properly. Next, I'll measure out the 3 inches standard measurement for the neck. After that, I'll take my shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches. Then I'll come down by 1 inch from where I marked my shoulder and then draw a slant line from there to my standard neck measurement. Afterwards, I'll take the measurement of where I want my neckline to start from, which is 5.5 inches. This is because I want the neckline to be a little bit wide. Next is to measure out my bust line, which is 9 inches. I'll mark this all the way to the end. Then, in order to determine where the armhole will start from, I'll bring down my shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches, down to my bust line. Then I root a line upwards to the shoulder and box it. Just as you see me doing, I'll divide my armhole line into 2, which will give me 4 inches. On that 4 inches, I'll go in by 3/4 inch and then make a slanted line from there upwards. I'll then go ahead to mark out my bust measurement, which is 10 inches plus 1.5 seam allowance. Next thing I'll do is to determine the length of the top. That is where I want my top to end. So I'll be using 24 inches. This is because I want it to stop at 24 inches. So I'm going to mark it all the way down. So after I'm done with that, next is to rule a line across and then mark out my bust measurement, which is 10 plus 1.5 inches, which will give me 11. And then I'll use my ruler. After measuring this and making sure that it is accurate, I'll use my ruler and run a straight line from there to the bust area. I'll not be using any waist measurement for this because this is going to be a very free top. As you can see, I'm not adding any zipper to it. Next is to determine where my neck depth will be. So I don't want it to go so deep. I'll be using 3.5 inches. And then from there, I'm going to make a curve from there to the 5 inches neck width that I marked out previously. So if you're not good with curves, like I said before, you can use your curve ruler for this. So here I started cutting and I forgot that I've not yet curved my armhole. So I quickly had to go and get my curved ruler to start curving it. I'm sorry about this. So I'll go ahead and make a curve for my armhole. So I'm done with curving my armhole and I'll quickly start cutting out my top. And this is what it looks like. The next thing I'll be doing is to cut out my ruffles or gathers, anyone you want to call it. I've already folded it into 4, as you can see, and the measurement on fold is 15 inches, and the height that I'm going to be using for these ruffles, or the length, is going to be 12 inches. Now, if you're wondering how to know or calculate the exact amount of fabric to use for the ruffles, don't worry, I've got you covered. So in order to know the exact amount of fabric to use without much wastage or shortage, you will have to multiply the width of the fabric by 3. Just like I said previously, that the total measurement for the width of our wrapper is 76 inches. So multiplying 76 by 3 will give us 228 inches. But for the purpose of this video, I'll be making use of 240 inches, which is still very okay because I want the ruffles to be full. You can as well use more than this. It all depends on you and how full you want it to be. So after I've cut it out, I'll go ahead and use that piece that I cut out to cut 3 more pieces of the fabric, and then I'll head over to my sewing machine to join them all together. So this is it. I've already joined all the pieces together, and the total measurement of this is 228 inches. I'll then go off camera to start gathering it. After I'm done, I'll come back and show you all what it looks like. Now I'm done gathering it, and the next thing will be to join it with the wrapper that we just cut out. This is the wrapper and this is the ruffles. So before joining these two together, I'll have to finish off the edges of the wrapper properly. I'll also have to be adding the rope that will be used to tie the wrapper at the back. I've gone ahead to make my rope. This is how I'll be joining the rope. In the beginning of the fabric, from the length of the wrapper, I'll go ahead to fold it once and then fold it the second time. So this is me double folding it from the length. And then I'll go ahead to place the rope at the back. After placing the rope at the back, I'll just come down a little bit by, let's say, 1 inch, and then double fold the top of the fabric again, just as you see me doing. So I'll go ahead and stitch it and come back and show you guys what it looks like. As you all can see, I've gone ahead to join my ruffles. Also, I've finished off the edges properly, and I've also added my rope, and this is what it looks like. So now we are totally done with the wrapper, and the next will be to start joining the top. For the top, we'll start by pinning the facing to the front of the fabric and then turning it over. The shoulder, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, it has been neatly concealed together, and you can't even tell where it was sewn from. Next will be to join the sleeves to the armhole. So we're going to ahead to notch the middle part of the sleeve. This will enable us join it properly. So where the joining of the two shoulders meet each other, that is where we'll be joining the sleeves from. And then we'll go ahead and pin this down and show you what it looks like. And we went ahead to sew it up together, and this is what it looks like. So the next will be to join the whole top together, but before we do that, we will be adding ruffles to the sleeve part. So this is how we are going to join the ruffles to the sleeve. Already we've cut the piece of fabric that will be adding to the sleeve, and the measurement in width is 36.5 inches. We'll therefore go ahead to gather this and attach it to the sleeve and come back and show you guys what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. We've already attached it and we are gradually rounding off with this dress. As you can see, it's already looking good. The next will be to sew up the sides and finish up the edges, and I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. And finally, we are done. So this is what the final outcome looks like, and I'm going to show you guys how to tie the wrapper and what it looks like on me.